Hey kids, have you ever heard the story of Doubting Thomas? It's right there in the Bible, and it has a great lesson to be learned from it. Thomas was one of the 12 disciples of Jesus.
Thomas.
So Thomas was one. Can you name the other 11? There was Peter, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Matthew, Thaddeus. What? James, Simon, Judas, and Bartholomew. So those guys had it pretty cool, right? Walking around with Jesus, hearing his stories, watching his miracles. Which miracle would you have loved to see? So okay, here's the thing about Thomas. Thomas had a famous nickname. How about you? Do you have a nickname? Do you like it? How'd you get it? So Thomas's nickname, you know what it was? Doubting Thomas. He got that nickname because of one little thing he said. You see, after Jesus died and rose again, he went to see his disciples to tell them that he was alive. But Thomas wasn't there, so he doubted their story.
They told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he replied, "I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands, put my fingers into them, and place my hand into the wound in his side."
That makes sense, right? Wouldn't you want to know if Jesus is really alive? I mean, what if the disciples were just joking around? Here's the thing. Jesus didn't get mad at Thomas for doubting. Some people think that Jesus wants us to be perfect, but we're not, and neither is Thomas. Jesus wasn't worried that Thomas didn't believe him at first. He was still really nice to him, and he gave him a chance to see for himself.
8 days later, the disciples were together again. But this time, Thomas was with them. The doors were locked. But suddenly, Jesus was standing among them. "Peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, "Put your fingers here and look at my hands. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe." My Lord and my God.
Jesus loves it when kids believe in him, even though they've never seen him. The real lesson of the story is for us today.
Jesus probably isn't going to walk in your house and let you touch his hands.
He asks that you believe in him, even though you've never seen him.
That's called faith, and Jesus loves it when we have it. Then Jesus told him, "You believe because you have seen me. Blessed are those who believe without seeing me."
Doubting Thomas got another nickname that day, Believing Thomas. What about you? Do you believe in Jesus? Why don't you talk about it with a teacher or parent?
I believe. Hey parents and teachers, don't forget you can use this whole series. It's all free and it's at pursuegod.org.